Hello, welcome to the channel. We are back for another yet again rapid review. This time on the first iteration for a developer called Skyward Simulations. This is, I believe, their first project in Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020, and it is indeed the Diamond Aircraft Industries DA50RG retractable gear. So what's interesting to note about this aircraft is the price. Of course, this is a fresh content addition to our simulator, and I paid just over $17 US for this. So let's see what we get for our money. As always with these rapid reviews, I am checking out the exterior models and textures and details while we get on with the detail orientation here to see what we are offered at this price point. Specifically, this is a composite aircraft, carbon fiber. We're not going to see rivet lines, welds, gaps, things like that in the panel work. More than likely, they provide nice smooth textures and detail a little bit there on the winglet. Slight hand painting there, you can tell for sure. The quality, of course, I'll let you be the judge of that. I'm just here to show you what indeed we are being offered. See something there with the textures. Not sure if on the top trailing edge there almost of the aileron that's intentional or not, but it adds patina, I suppose. What's cool to mention about this aircraft as well is you might see Jet A. No, this is not a turboprop. This is actually a Mercedes derivative V6 diesel, but it does use Jet A. So fuel filler cap there. I think those are painted on. Perhaps they are physically modeled screws. I can't tell. It is what it is on the fuel filler cap there. You can see that for yourself. Paint job is exquisite. I do like the details there. Let's go ahead and go underneath and check out the brakes, tires, struts, and functional landing gear components, as well as the landing gear wheel well. And naturally, we have to check out the polished exhaust pipe. Now you're probably saying, oh man, I like patina, I like patina. That's cool, you do, you don't, whatever it is. However, I would like to note, at least at the time of this video, that the DA50 in the real world just got its type certificate rating. So none of these aircraft presumably have that many hours on them of flight time. You're not going to see corrosion. You're not going to probably see a lot of weathering effects on an aircraft like this because, again, they're all brand new. I believe they're quite expensive, well north of $1 million in the real world. I like the specular ambiance that the aircraft gives you. You've got, of course, the paint textures. You've got the diamond-plated riveting looking theme there. Of course, there are a whole bunch of different liveries with this. Generic ones, red ones, white ones, gray ones. You can see by the registration numbers, the lines there on the paint aren't exactly super analyst. Or for lack of a better description, however you would say that, but I'm just presenting what has been given to us. Of course, the folks over here are interested in checking out this aircraft too. We are flying out of Silitz Bay today, as you can see. Weather, it was just raining here not too long ago. Slightly inclement, possibly IFR conditions. That's Sierra 4-5 in the Pacific Northwest. Externally for $17. I mean, single engine, piston driven, Jet A fueled, diesel, full authority digital engine control, system management for the engine, no propeller controls for pitch, no mixture controls, all handled for us automatically. Let's hop into the pilot and command position. Thanks for joining me again today here at AOK Games. Okay, pilot in command, not so pilot in command. What I want to do first, of course, is check out the textures. There's a baggage space back there where you can add on the weights and balances some additional weight but at least at the time of the release, or to my reckoning, I cannot actually add visual details for bags and things like that. So just something to be noted. Let's listen for some sounds. Yes, of course, there's a clicking sound. And the seat detail, definitely sufficient. Sounds, only a left-hand door in the DA50RG. Looking for click spots as always. Nothing back here. Got that. Of course, you've got knobs, dials, doodads. You cannot adjust. As you see, no click spots here for the lights or air conditioning. That's okay. However, let's actually go to the piloting command position now. So the thing with this aircraft that I like to point out is the external view out of the front window particularly. Not large by any stretch of the imagination. So the texturing in here, to me, is the most important thing here because your foreground is definitely very visible and it has to be of quality. What I would like to say is, I think it is that. It is. You've got your port and starboard windows here. You've got doors. They function with sound. Both sides. Nice to see. Let's realign ourselves here. And a lot of the adjustables here. You've got your control surfaces. You've got your fuel for your on, emergency, and off. Working. You've also got a lot of buttons in here. Not noticing any circuit breakers that you can pull, but that's okay. Let's take a look down here. Nice return springs, and wow, you know, for an aircraft that's $1 million+, ooh, that looks kind of homemade for a DA50RG. Not necessarily, obviously, a problem with the modeling of the aircraft, but for, you know, $1 million+, $1.5 million, I'm not so sure I would want to see that. Covered in plastic, that's what I would want for my price point if I were in the market for one of these in real life, which obviously I'm not. However, a lot of click spots. Obviously, the Garmin G1000 NXI. So, navigation, autopilot, pitot heat, everything here. It's all digital. Let's check that out. We'll turn it on as the standardized G1000 NXI is. Avionics Master. Alternators, yes, they are on. FADEC, correct. Engine. Pulls up the fuel pump. We are looking at an outside air temperature of 10 degrees Celsius, so we're not freezing. Lots of clickables and dragables in here. Temperatures, recirculating air, fresh air, plus fan speed. I like it. There you go. You've got cowls for your cowl flaps on your engine there. Excellent. And the parking brake's on. Let's go to ground idle. And let's see if we can't not bring this beast to life. So, clear prop. Please? No? Okay. At your own risk. And that sound. Listen to the sound. Definitely indicates that it is a diesel. Very cool. Sound differences. I like that. Noise change. Let's set up for takeoff. And with that, nice little feature about the DA50. Let's go through our pre-flight test here. Pitot heat on. Hold in the test. Now what this is doing is pretty much making sure all of your systems are in the green for go. It's checking your response, it's checking your ECUs, and running through its pre-flights. So there's no run-up necessary, to my understanding, on this aircraft. You just hold the test button in, let it do its thing, It's cleared. The stall heater failed. That will go away as soon as we give some power to this aircraft. I am not a DA aircraft specialist, but I do know one thing. Pull back on the elevator to go up. Push down to go down. Forward to go down. Is it the other way around? I don't know. This is a test flight. Let's find out. So I'm going to line up on the active taxiway, and we're going to go out, see what this plane's all about. Okay, so welcome back. Here we are. I'm testing out the taxi. Obviously, this is a nose-mounted tricycle landing gear. So taxiing is pretty simple, as it should be. We've gone ahead and thrown on all of our lights for this day, under 10,000 feet for maximum visibility. I've gone ahead and set our altimeter to 30.00, and we're just about ready to see what this aircraft is all about. I have not flown it yet. This will be a first for me. I like to fly in real-world conditions based off of, let's just see what it does on a less than perfect day. I think that's a credible source of discovery because it allows us to see what this aircraft is like. Now, this is a unique view, is it not? Check out that view out of the front window. Not so visible, but that's okay. Everything's set. Takeoff power. Here we go. Little bit of rain coming from our left to right off of the front window. A bit of left rudder for sure. Trim's all set to green. And rotate. Maintain that left rudder all the way down the runway, even off to pulling towards the sky. Clear. Positive rate. As always, gear up. Plenty of power, even with the wind. 1,000 foot plus per minute climb at 80 plus knots indicated. We'll wait till we get over 500. We'll throw up our flaps and then trim out our aircraft. Flaps up. And what I like to do is try to make it so that I have hands-off flight. I don't want to be holding any pressures left, right, forward, or aft on the joystick. Just want to fly nice and easy. Now this aircraft, like I said, for $17, supposedly has a cruise speed of 180 plus or minus knots. So we'll try that. It has a ceiling of 20,000 feet. So we'll also try that. And we'll just enjoy it. Now that the flaps are up and the rain's piling on, we're looking at 1,400 feet a minute, 95 knots. That's, of course, at 100% power. Not sure if that's a time-rated specification that you cannot be at, but let's go ahead and pull the power back again. Digital engine control, so there is no need to worry about mixtures or props. Very, very nice. Takes workload off of the pilot. Synthetic vision on the G1000 NXI. Nice and easy to navigate, even with a small front window and cloudy fogs plus rain on the outside. Again, this is the Pacific Northwest, so it's like this more often than not, this part of the world. Let's go outside and hear some of the sounds, huh? Definitely sounds like a diesel. So this is a 300 horsepower diesel at that. Quite a bit of power here for a single engine. You might be asking yourself, what is the market space for a single? Well, we've tried all the other DA aircraft, the twins, the DA-42 from Cows. Of course, you have the standard DA twin engine from Microsoft, Sobo. And now you've got the single. real world operations, this would clearly be a cheaper choice in terms of aircraft maintenance. One less engine to worry about. But how does it translate into the simulator? Well, let's go up to 20,000 feet. I'll super edit cut right to there, and we'll see with the autopilot what kind of speeds we can get from a single engine at altitude. Be right back. Okay, so here we are, 20,000 feet. Just cruising along. Let's see what we've got. So basically, I've given this a little bit of time. We are approaching the top of the white arc, still gently accelerating. The throttle is at 100%, and it's outputting 63% full load. RPM is 2340, so we're right there at the red line. Pretty much doing about as much as we can do. So true airspeed is 162 knots, but the G1000 is telling us that we're at a ground speed of 187 knots. So theoretically, these numbers seem to be fairly accurate. Now, if you go in here and you look at possibly some of your layouts and insets, let's see if we can find it. Possibly, possibly not. I am not a G1000 NXI fellow. I prefer the GTN 750, but that is not available on all aircraft. So there you go. 262 degrees at 50 knots. So that's relative. We're going 150. So 262 degrees is where the wind direction is pointing. So we have a tailwind from our starboard aft section. That's not ideal for max speed, but if we were going to, say, try the autopilot out, let's make sure we are on heading mode, and then let's turn towards 262 and see what kind of a speed that we can get out of this machine. So or at least relative, right? Let's go. Stop right here. Instead of that 262, let's go with a direct tailwind at 50 knots. So, ideal conditions, max power, 20,000 foot ceiling, 212 knot ground speed. Outside of the white arc, indicated at 120. So it's a cruiser. Now, what's the range like on this? Well, it's a single engine and not far for us today, because I will show you here. No, not weather. I'll show you the weight and balance. I've only given us about 35% fuel, so we don't have a lot of excess time to begin with, but I wanted to show you that it is possible to achieve these speeds. Naturally, this is full throttle, so take that as it is. You would get far longer range than, if you pull back on the throttle, of course, than full. You're going to get a lot more range, but you're also going to increase your ground speed too. So let me line this beast up for final approach, and we'll see what we have before landing. Be right back. Okay, welcome back. So there's a first time for everything, and we have descended. There we are on our base, right back at Silitz Bay. And this will essentially be a landing experience for me, first time. See what goes about it. I'm going to go ahead and check the landing gear out here for the animation. Nice, even the down and lock clunk. Let's go ahead and make sure we have our altimeter set, our flaps, and I'm going to trim my aircraft out here for hands-off flight, full flaps, and add some power. Looks like we have a little bit of a break in the clouds so that we can come in unobstructed vision-wise, hopefully. This is going to be a very fast base to final, but that's okay. And let's go ahead and make that. So, one thing to note about this aircraft is, more than likely, I would preferably have a very long final approach because there's not much vision out of the window here. So, kind of hard to see things below you and above you and around your pillars there. Nonetheless, we have made it to the final leg here, final approach, and we're going to see what this aircraft is all about. I have gone ahead and adjusted my vision a little bit. My point of view is a little bit to the right of where the default setting is, but just something to keep in mind. Taxi and landing lights should have already been on, but that's okay. Nobody's professional here on this channel. And we're getting buffeting from the trees. That is not me manipulating the joystick. But I like to fly with the real weather. I feel it gives a nice feel for what the aircraft performs like, not just in the reviews, but outside of the reviews as well, because you can see for yourself. Yeah, a little bit of left rudder. And remove the power. And go ahead and get onto those brakes. Let's clean it up, all the while maintaining left rudder to stay centerline. And we are back at Sierra 4-5 on the ground. Test out the taxiing one more time, give my final thoughts, and call this video quits. Just monkeying a bit with the throttle there to hear the jet fuel going through the diesel engine here. So what do I think? I think for $17 off sale, as you saw in the beginning, some of the textures, you know, it is what it is. That being said, I definitely can't do any better myself. And for Skyward Simulations' first release in Microsoft Flight Simulator, I mean, you got full Authority digital engine control here. No mixture, no hassle, no haggle, no propeller tooling around, none of that. You're just flying an aircraft that is pretty much state of the art, right? This is a brand new piece of kit. And it feels like it. I'll definitely say that. It feels like a modern aircraft for sure. And I like it. No clickable circuit breakers. I use the term study level lightly, and I would not claim that this is or is not study level, but you have to also weigh the price too, right? Parking brake on. Engine master off. Avionics, so on and so forth. Alternators, the standbys will turn off automatically. Let's go ahead and just turn all that down. Everything's set. Fantastic. Throw that up real quick. Close the cow flaps so we don't get any birds in there. And then naturally, fuel goes to off. Let's go externally. And to say for 17 off sale that I think this is a fair buy would be the truth. Now I know all my videos seem to be recommendations. The thing is, if I didn't think the aircraft was worth the time or the price, it wouldn't be on this channel. So that being said, there are also other aircraft that I have not reviewed that absolutely deserve the vote of confidence. They are older aircraft. Nonetheless, they are good. Perhaps I'll review those at some other point. But the topic of the day, the DA50 by Skyward Simulations, offered on Orbex Direct, possibly in a Microsoft Flight Simulator store. I have not experienced any bugs. So, at a later date, if you want to buy it in sim, feel free to do so. Orbex is definitely an awesome site as well. With that being said, I appreciate you watching. and I do recommend it. Until the next one, catch us later. Bye-bye.